What? You lose muscle by losing weight? I'm going to tell you straight what I think.
Let's go!
Hello people and welcome to Jon Sheppard Fitness. If you're new to my channel, just subscribe in that little bell thing down that way, or it might be that way, I don't know. And if you like this video, subscribe, follow me on Instagram. All the links are down in the description box. So then you're probably clicking on this thinking, oh, this is a load of rubbish. You cannot build muscle while you're losing weight. How can you? You're losing weight, so muscle comes off you. No, it doesn't. Okay? There's a big myth, and people in the industry will say, yes, you will lose muscle mass when you are cutting, losing weight, whatever you want to call it. But it is false. It is rubbish. And I'm going to tell you why it is rubbish. Not only from me telling you it, but also scientists, doctors, got all the evidence, and it's going to be on the screen. So no one can say nothing. Had studies over it. So I'm going to go and break through this actual question. Can you lose muscle when losing weight? Can you lose muscle on a calorie deficit? What this means is if you're in a calorie deficit, if you're basically having lower calories than what you maintain, that you will lose muscle mass. Yes, you can by one extreme way, and I'll tell you that a bit later, but I'm going to break it down to you, and I'm going to put up the evidence in the video and show you how you can actually build muscle while losing weight and actually maintain it, which is the main reason. This is the I don't know, this is a jewel in gem. This is the thing that most people always tell you. Doesn't matter who it is, from big YouTubers to people who do shows, everybody loses muscle mass when you are on a calorie deficit. Are you losing muscle? No, you're not losing muscle. You're losing body fat. You're losing weight off your body. You are not losing muscle. How do I know that? Because I have actually done it myself. I went on a mini cut, which is probably the worst way of actually losing weight. What you're doing is you're lowering the calories so low, you're losing weight at a rapid rate, and that is probably the only way you can actually lose muscle mass. But I didn't lose muscle mass at all. Did I gain muscle mass? No, but I stay the exact same. Muscle mass only reduces when there's nothing else to come off. The body wants to eat the fat first, and then it will eat the muscle. If you're in a diet for 2 years, of course it's going to eat muscle, because you're going to be nothing left to come off you. But if you're on a diet where you're reducing it very slowly, you're not going to lose muscle mass. You're probably going to gain. And I'm going to tell you how you can actually gain muscle or maintain muscle, and stick it up to all them people who actually say, yeah, well, be expected to lose a lot of muscle when you're cutting. Be expected to lose all this muscle mass. In the first place, one, how much muscle mass do you actually know you've had or got if you've never measured yourself? Obviously, if you're going to a show, you will be the leanest you have possibly been. You'll be under 8% body fat, guaranteed. And that is the best time to measure yourself. I did a video about me measuring myself as I'm on a bulk at the moment, just to see what my status will be later on in the year compared to when I'm cut, and then next year if I'm going on another bulking phase, or so I wanted to do that. Go and check it out, the link is down below. But what you need to do is you need to measure yourself. If you're on the cut and you've done your cut and or you've just done a show, measure yourself. Measure what your biceps are, your chest, everything that you're showing off, because that is the leanest you're going to be. That is the most muscle mass you have got, and you can have a comparison to future references in years to come. But this is more about when you're actually training, when you're actually doing that 16-week cut, 20-week cut, right? People who are on steroids, this is nothing to do with you, because obviously when you're on steroids, you don't lose muscle mass at all. If anything, you probably gain muscle mass, because you've got all them drugs in you to help you maintain the muscle mass. So it's more for the natural people who are like me, because we all want to know. We want to be thin and toned, but then we don't want to just be skinny and be, where's all the muscle gone? The reasons is because it's them cuts, them blitz cuts, them 6-week cuts, them drastic cuts where you're dropping your calories by 1,000 calories, so you're on like 1,500 calories. Who survives on 1,500 calories? Literally, I mean, last week of a show, maybe, if you're like ready for stage, yes, you might be. But also, it depends on how big you are as a person. But what I want to say is, as you can see now, I'm going to post a lot of information on the actual video, and we've been researching. This has been researched over for last month. I've been going on the internet. I've been looking it up, not on people who are on YouTube like me, not people who I know, but people who actually have got degrees, have got diplomas, and are geniuses. Their brains are massive, and they just know stuff like this because they can produce numbers out of their head like Albert Einstein, right? These people know their stuff, right? They research, they don't just put out stuff because it's their reputation they're putting on the line. So as you can see, there is certain articles on my screen now where it tells you that you can lose muscle mass, like I just said, about if you are under a certain percent of body weight, and drastically lose it if you're like under 6%, which is very, very, very lean. But if you are on a diet where you're losing it gradually, you will not lose muscle mass. If anything, you'll gain. If you're a 20 stone man and you are going to the gym, what is going to happen more likely is your muscles are going to get bigger, and it's going to start replacing the fat. So you don't see your muscles disappear. And also, if you've been 20 stone for several years, you wouldn't even know what your muscle mass is. And this is the thing that gets me with all this rubbish that's telling people that you're going to lose muscle mass when you're losing weight, and it's false. It's all false. Like I said, it's only way you're going to lose muscle mass is if you are basically dieting for the rest of your life, or you're going to be cutting down basically half your calories, or even more. And of course you will, because you won't have no energy, you won't have nothing. But also, the reasons how you're going to lose it is because maybe you haven't got it. You might not have the muscle mass anyway. If you've never been on a cut, if you've never had a diet where you've gone as quite low as possible, and I'm not talking about 8%, but when you're under 15% body fat, you should be able to see abs. If you're not seeing abs at under 15% body fat, you probably haven't got abs. And I'm not saying you haven't got them, because everybody has got abs, but they're a muscle. They are a muscle. You need to work them. If you never trained arms in your life, it doesn't matter how much weight you lost and how much body fat percentages, your arms are going to still be skinny. So you've got to work at these parts. There's no point cutting if you've just never been to the gym, you know. And that's what I'm going to help you with this video, how to actually maintain muscle. So then you're probably wondering how to keep that muscle, how to keep that muscle mass when you're cutting. Well, gradually. So first of all, make sure you are lowering your calories at a minimum, right? If you're eating 3,500 like me, lower it a little bit. Lower it like by 100 for the first week, and then maybe 200. You know, so you're losing a little bit of weight at a time, not drastic 6 pounds every single week. Because by the time you get to like four or 5 weeks, you'll be basically cut, but you'll be like cut and you will lose a lot of muscle mass because it will be eaten away from every part of the body. If you cut slowly, of course, your body will get used to it and it won't eat away at the muscle mass, it will eat at the fat. Another thing you can do is actually make sure your protein is up. I suggest when you are on a cut, if you are supposed to be eating so much protein anyway, you're supposed to be eating per gram per body weight. So if you're 200 pounds, you need to eat 200 grams of protein a day, either if that is food or food and protein shakes. So then, if you are cutting, I would up it. I would probably up it. If you was 200 grams, I would up it. Make sure you're at least 50 grams to 100 grams more protein. This way, the protein will be kicking in more to rebuild their muscles more, helping them fight the fatigue more, which will help them stay the same or even grow. So that's another way. Another thing is work hard at the gym. Do not slack at the gym. If anything, work harder than you've ever worked, right? People say that you lose strength as well when you're cutting. It's a lie. Yes, you will lose strength if you are cutting drastically. Like, for instance, Eddie Hall, if you're what he weighed when he lifted 500 kg to what he is now, he would never be able to lift it because pure body weight. If you're only cutting a few pounds, a few pounds will not drastically make you weaker, because you will be pushing it out and pushing you out. In the end, it's all in your mind. Psych yourself up. Make sure you get them reps out. Obviously, if you are wanting to build muscle, also make sure you're hitting them reps. Don't just do under 6 reps. Yes, you might look good at the gym lifting 100 kg when you're looking tiny, but if you're only doing 3 or 4 reps, you're not getting their muscles working. They're not getting into that system. They're not breaking down. They're not breaking down the muscle fibers. Then you're actually working your strength muscles. So you're not working your other muscles where you can build muscle. They're totally different things, being strong and being muscly. Yes, you will get muscly being stronger, but also if you want to look like the bodybuilders, they're not particularly the strongest people, right? If most of them are quite weak compared to somebody their own weight who is a strength person, can lift a hell of a lot more at the same weight, body weight as them, and they can do, because what they do is they do more reps. They do the sets between 10 to 15. I would always say hit around them, because that's when the muscles will work and it will make them bigger. If you're getting told that you're going to lose a lot of weight and you're going to be expected to lose muscle, don't believe it. I would say don't even trust that person. If it's a coach, if it's a mate, or somebody off the internet, because if you are going to be losing muscle, there's something in that plan where you're going to be cutting a lot of calories out and just to get that result. And this is why I don't really like these mini cuts and stuff like that. I think they're great for people who are not necessarily into bodybuilding but just want to look good and look slim, you know, like overweight people where they want to just look a bit trim for a holiday or, you know, something like that. They're great for them. But if you're looking into bodybuilding, like me, going competing, or you're looking to look really good and look shredded, you need to diet slowly. You need to diet slowly, especially being natural. There is a feeling that I think if you do it too long, you will then lose muscle mass, because obviously dieting for a certain amount of time, you will eventually, there is nothing else to come off, so you will lose muscle. But I always say between 16 to probably 20, 22, 24, I think that is the perfect amount of time to go on a diet. Of course, then by the time of the last few weeks, you can lose a lot more weight quicker if you want to, if you're going in a show or a photo shoot, because you can ramp up the cardio, you know, and then you can lower the calories a bit more. But I would gradually lower the calories as slow as possibly you can, you know, and you know, sometimes you don't even need to lower the calories. It's just about what you're putting in and, you know, what your daily expenditure is. You've got to just make sure that you be careful. I know everybody wants to lose weight quick and get shredded, you know, especially nowadays that fitness is more popular and you see it all over Instagram. But you also got to remember about what you're looking on Instagram. These people have been training for years. They've probably, a lot of them have never been in shows, or they might have done shows when they was younger, but it's not in their interest now. And they've bulked up over the years, you know, gradually. That's the thing. They've bulked up gradually over the years, where now they've got a healthy body, healthy muscles, strong muscles, where they can naturally look good all year round, right? Because their muscles are developed so long after so many years of training that they don't have to be absolutely cut, shredded to see the six pack, see the fibers in their chest when they're working out, because they've been training so long. If you're a newbie, just remember, it takes time, right? It takes time. Just don't rush, you know. Don't go into a cut as well. That's another thing. Do not go into a cut. If you're new, don't go into a cut and just think, well, I need to get shredded. No. Eat. Eat. Your metabolism is awesome when you're young. Eat as much as you can and just train hard. Lift them weights. Progressive overload. That is another one which I forgot to say. Progressive overload. You can still do it when you're cutting. Remember, it's all in your mind. It's how much you do want it as well. You don't have to think, oh, I'm weak, right? That's why a pre-workout's there for. That's why a coffee's there. Gives you energy. That's why you go and train with your mates and they can push you, right? You got all these advantages, right? You got no things to stop you from still looking good while cutting. But if you are young, don't cut. Make sure you're training for at least two or 3 years before you even attempt to cut, because you don't need to. You need to start get that muscle, because the first couple of years when you start training are the most important years. You can get massive results when you start at a gym. For the first 2 years, you can get absolutely huge compared to what you start as, and You don't need to cut. All you need to do is eat healthy, maintain. You don't even need to eat healthy when you're young because your metabolism just burns everything off. So just train hard. Make sure you're getting them numbers in and lifting them weights, and then make sure those weights are getting heavier gradually, time after time, and the reps are getting more and the sets are getting more, because that's progressive overload. And trust me, you will see results easy. And then when you've got to that stage where you think, yeah, look at me, I'm quite big, right, but I'm not lean, yeah, then do your cut, because then you have got muscles on you and you can actually see what is actual muscle mass and what is actually fat. That's why I suggest, if you really, really, really want to know the closest way of actually knowing how much muscle you've got, is probably eating as lean as possibly when you're on a bulking phase, you know, but don't bulk up like stupid amounts. Like I said with the losing weight, gradually bulk up slowly by adding an extra 50, 100 calories, maybe every month or something. So you're gradually putting on, you know, a pound a month, and that's fine. A pound a month would be fine. You know, that's a stone almost in a year. You know, it doesn't matter. Gradually do it. You got no rush, right? There's no, it's not a race where you need to get to a certain weight, because the faster you put on weight, the faster it's going to be probably fat. And that's the thing. Yes, you will get stronger, but as soon as you lose all that fat, you'll be down back to the exactly same weight you was when you looked good. And what's the point in that? You just wasted a lot of time, a lot of money eating food, and you've not got nowhere. So then, hope you enjoyed this. If you've got any questions, please comment down below. If you like these sort of videos, because in the past I was like, you got no information, you don't know what you're on about. I don't know everything, but who does, right? You can listen to somebody who thinks he's an expert on here, but all he is doing is reading a script of somebody who's written it. Yeah. So I'm just saying my opinion, but I'm backing up with a few reports of doctors. So there's not much else I can say. If you enjoyed this, please give me a big thumbs up and remember to subscribe, because you know what? I'm almost at that 1,000. I'm about 50 away, and I really need to get to that 1,000. I don't really need to, but it would be nice to. Anyway, I will see you next time.